Hi, good to see everyone. If this is your first time joining me, my name's Darcy, and today's class is dedicated to women, all the women in my life. It's International Women's Day today, and I've spent some time this morning thinking about all the amazing, incredible, fierce women in my life. Um, and I started making like a mental list of all of these incredible people that have inspired me day in and day out over the years. And there's been so many friends and students and family members. And specifically today, I'd like to dedicate my practice to Jennifer Chan and Corinna Hebert, two amazing women in my life who were with me almost at the inception of my studio ownership when I owned a yoga studio, and have remained by my side for many years, helping me sift through all of societal expectations, misogyny, toxic world views, people's judgments of me, and continually just mirroring back to me this person that they believe to me to be, and this person that I get to continually show up and become more for myself. So a deep gratitude to the two of you. This practice is for you both, especially Corinna, who's gone through a shit fuckery of the last couple of years, and is so brave and fierce. And this practice is dedicated to that fierceness that's within you, Corinna, and how you continually show up, even though so many people tell you to slow down and to be gentler in your yoga practice. And sometimes we need to be strong and fierce. And I remember going through a really tough time in my personal life, and I felt so much shame around the anger that I was carrying. And I reached out to a dear friend of mine, and I had shared with her some of the things that I had done and was going through. And she was so flat out honest with me. And she said, "Sometimes, Darcy, women have to get fucking angry." And this is that practice, this fierceness that's within this fire that is always burning, and this need to break down patriarchal views and expectations of who we are as women and who we need to be in order to be incredible leaders, incredible mothers, incredible friends, and incredible nurturing caregivers. So this practice is for all of you and for myself included. So enjoy. Let's start off in tabletop today. As always, highly recommend props. I always make sure I have my handy dandy block with me, and I always like to have a little blanket. You might not need the blanket until the cool down part of the class, especially if you are practicing at home without heat, or just not in a hot room anymore. It's nice to have something warm to put over you for the cool down part of class. So let's begin. So tabletop, hands underneath of your shoulders, and turn your palms out just slightly so that that inner triad, that V shape between your index, your thumb, is pointing towards the top or the top corner of your mat. And this just allows your shoulder blades to kind of stay flush against your rib cage. And spread your fingertips wide and push down through your fingertips as if you're gripping the floor with your fingertip pads. Good, and we're just going to start here with a few movements in the spine. And I highly recommend, if you have wrist issues or, low back problems, or you just don't like doing all the vinyasas that are offered in the practice, to take cat-cows instead. Big breath in, lift your chin, lift your tailbone, stretch out through your core, and then a big exhale round your back, chin towards your throat. And press up through your shoulder blades by gluing your hands down, push them down, and as that happens, you feel that space between your shoulder blades start to puff up. And start to link your breath in. So inhale, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back, and really think about your core abdomen doing all of the work. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Do 3 more breaths in any way that you want, just linking the movement with your breath. Good. If your toes are not curled under, do that and flip your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal out through your legs. So this will be a quicker paced class, and your downward dog will be a resting pose. If this posture doesn't give that to you, tabletop or a child's pose. And we always meet back in these resting poses to realign ourselves to our breath and to realign ourselves with why we're here. Why do we get on our mat? Why do you get on your mat? Relax the back of your neck. Your chin draws in just slightly. And press your tongue towards the roof of your mouth, just behind your teeth line. And leave that little space between your tongue and the top of the canopy of the roof of your mouth. And deep inhales through the nose. And out through your nose. And follow your breath to the end so that you can feel your abdomen starting to tone with your breath, creating this internal fire. And inhale up onto your tiptoes. Bend your knees, look forward, and step to the top of your mat. Good. I always like to have my feet between hip distance and toes together. Inhale, halfway lift. Pause here, chin towards your throat, tongue behind your teeth line, your gum line, and lean forward. Take a full breath in. Exhale, round. Push your fingertips into the floor and look up to your thighs. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale with breath. Bow forward. Good. Inhale, rise up, hands to the sky. Hands to your heart. Pause here. Just looking down at your fingertip pads. Take a couple of really strong, rooted breaths here. Like push down through your feet. I dive into the well of my body and end up in another world. Everything I need already exists in me. There's no need to look anywhere else. Have an amazing class. Inhale, reach for the sky. Big breath in. Bend your knees, fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Option to do a modified flow here. Breathe in, tip forward. Exhale, lower to your mat. Big breath in, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Push up, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Spread your toes. Slide your thighs up away from your kneecaps. One more soft breath here. With a powerful exhale. Inhale up onto your toes. Get low, crouch low, look forward, step bigger to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to the sky, to the sun, to the moon. And draw the energy of Mother Nature to your heart. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bow. Halfway lift. Plank pose. Inhale, tip forward. Really strong with your legs. Bend your elbows lower to your mat. Bigger breath in, bigger back bend if it's available. Push up and back, downward facing dog. Good. One breath in. One breath out. Steady in. Smooth out. Relax your cheekbones. Last breath. Rise up onto your tiptoes. Look forward. Bend, step, hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, bow and fold. Rise up, big inhale. Hands to your heart, exhale. Good. One more full flow here. Move with your breath. We'll get to downward dog when you're ready. Three breaths. One more. Right up onto your tiptoes. Get low, bigger steps or that nice little jump to the top. Inhale halfway. Exhale, bow and fold. Rise up, big inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Inhale, Utkatasana. So sit low, arms high. Adjust your body parts as you need to. Otherwise, you have to tuck things back in. Good. Hands to your heart. Breathe in. And I like to bring my feet together for this pose, but twist towards the right. Inhale, rise up. Straighten your legs if you wish. Sit low again. Hands to your heart. Big inhale, lift. Exhale, twist towards the left, elbow to your outer thigh, or even just your forearm to your outer thigh. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bow and fold. And inhale, halfway lift. And jump back to low plank. Move through any type of movement. Downward facing dog. And these three breaths. You can feel the heat starting to build in your body. And your breaths become choppy. And this is the place where we realign. Good. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Step it almost to the top of your mat. Pivot your left foot down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, lower, step back, flow. Left foot lifted. Step forward, pivot your right foot down, warrior one. Vinyasa. Three breaths. Notice the self-doubt. And let it leave you when you breathe out. You are sure of yourself. Good. Lift your right leg up, inhale. And step it forward, crescent lunge. Good. Adjust your body parts as you need to. And open up, warrior two. Exalted warrior. Good. Triangle pose. And straighten your front leg. Pull your right outer hip towards the back edge of your mat. Open and lift. One more breath here. Good. Left hand down. Bend your front leg. I like to drag my foot back and then tip forward. Lift your left leg up. So half moon pose or Ardha Chandrasana. And start to stack your hips, your shoulders. Lift your left leg in line with your hip and arm towards the sky. Good. Left hand down. Bring your knee towards your nose, round forward. Kick your leg up. Inhale. Good. One more time. Bring it in. Kick it up. Good. Step your feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. And Vinyasa. Lift your left leg up. Breathe in. Step it forward. Crescent lunge to start. Lift your chest. Roll your shoulders. Draw your fingertips back. Open up, warrior two. You're going to squeeze your right bum cheek. Press down through your heel and just sink your hips towards the earth. Left hand skyward. Lift it. Start to reach back. Reach, reach, reach. Big breath here. And triangle pose. Straighten the front leg. You're going to feel a deep stretch in the inner thigh. Rotate, adjust, and reach. This magnificent body of yours, perfect in all of its glory. Right hand down, drag your heel back, tip your block forward and lift. I always like to turn my foot in just slightly. It gives me more room in my hips to stack them. And find that alignment. It just allows you enough work, enough ease. And what a great reminder for life. Just enough work, just enough ease. Right hand down, square your hips off to the floor, bring your knee to your nose, and kick your foot high. Good, one more time, knee to nose, kick it high. Feet together, inhale, halfway lift. And movement or no movement. Find that resting place where your effort meets your ease. Where you can sift through all the bullshit and know that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Because you've chosen to be right here. Literally on this mat. And figuratively in your life. Downward facing dog if you're not already there. Good, lift your right leg high, breathe in. Knee to your nose. Inhale, kick it up to your right elbow. Inhale high. Left elbow, straighten your leg. Plant your ankle, spin your left foot down. Left arm towards the sky. Now lift, lift, lift. Maybe you bring your hand back behind you. And then left hand down, right leg to the ceiling. Step it forward. Crescent lunge. Good. This variation, hands behind you, interlace your fingertips, straighten your arms, lift your head and your chest. Warrior 2. Hands to your hips. Straighten your right leg, pivot your foot. So both feet are parallel to the ends of your mat. I like to bring my toes in just slightly. Bend your knees and tip your whole body forward. Good. And from here, you can just focus on a really nice deep forward fold. If you want to try bringing your forehead down and just pushing your hands into the ground, you can kind of play around with what it feels like, what it might feel like to go into a headstand. And if a headstand's in your practice, you can roll some of the weight to the top of your head, pour the weight into your fingertips, and lift your heels, lift your toes. And slowly coming out with all the control you can muster. Good. Lift yourself halfway up. Walk your hands to the top of your mat. Pivot on your feet. Lower your back knee down. Good. We're just going to rock forward and back a couple times. And stay in your low lunge. Good. Right hand to your outer thigh. And you can sort of twist open. Might really like a block here. And if you can reach back for your foot, you can touch it and push your heel and your fingertips towards one another. You can also point your toes skyward and grab for your foot and roll your chest open, lift your heart. Release your efforts. Both hands underneath of your shoulders. You're going to step back through a vinyasa or skip it and take rest. Good. Left leg, inhale, lift to your nose. Inhale, high. Left elbow. Inhale up. Right elbow. Straighten your leg. Right hand towards the sky. And lift and reach. Good. Right hand down. Flow your left leg up. Breathe in. Step it through. Take a moment to reposition your feet. Hip distance apart. Crescent lunge. Good. Bend your elbows this time. Roll your shoulders back. Really start to open up through the front of your chest. Keep your belly strong as you breathe in and lift. Continue to draw your tailbone towards your left heel. Lift up, reach up, look forward. Open warrior 2. Now that you've been to this pose a couple of times, you start to feel your body open and give you more space. Both hands to your hips, straighten your left leg, pivot your foot towards the side of your mat, heels wide again, and bow forward. And you might be interested in just slowly moving from side to side, looking for more opening through your inner thighs, or shifting more weight forward. And maybe you come into tripod headstand on the other side. Coming up nice and slow, as gentle as one can be. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk yourself to the top of your mat. Pivot your body, pivot your feet. Lower your back knee down. And we'll take it into a twist into the other side. And spread your toes of your left foot. Allow the thigh to roll open. So you got nice movement in the hips as they sink, as you sink them down. And maybe you reach back and grab for your foot. Maybe. Nice. One more breath here. Release your efforts. Vinyasa or no vinyasa. And here we'll take 3 breaths. Remember why you're here, why you exist, what your purpose is. And beyond the words, the labels, the definitions, this felt sense. Downward facing dog. Good. Inhale up on your tiptoes. Crouch low, jump or step to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, bow and fold. Rise to the sky, breathe in. Hands to your heart, breathe out. Stay with the inconsistency of your breathing. The desire to move. And be with this human self of yours. Can you hear the woman who came before me? 500,000 voices ringing through my neck, as if this were all a stage built for them. I can't tell which parts of me are me and which parts are them. Can you see them taking over my spirit, shaking out my limbs to do everything they couldn't do when they were alive? Reach your arms towards the sky, breathe in. Interlace your fingertips and side bend to the right. Push your left foot down. Reach up towards the sky. And back through center, breathe in. And to the left. Back to center. Hands to your heart. Right onto your hips. Pour the weight into your left foot. Float your right knee up to 90 degrees. Draw your knee out to the side and just push your hand and your knee in together so that you create this suction and this lift. You can grab your big toe. You can do that too. Reach your left arm out if you want the extra balance. Good. Back to center, hands to your hips. Big breath in. Kick your foot forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, kick. Inhale, center. Exhale, strong leg. Push it back behind you, toppling tree. Reach your foot back. Roll your hip down and lift your left outer thigh. Arms reach back behind you. Good. Place your right foot down behind you in a warrior one position. So your foot's on an angle and your feet are hip distance apart. Good. Roll your right hip forward, left hip back. Big breath in. Keep your left knee bent and fold right at your hip crease. Good. From here, you can begin to straighten your left leg. Don't worry so much about the left leg being straight. Worry more about what's happening in your back. You want the lower part of your back, your mid back, your shoulders to be quite long and not rounded. So lengthen, draw your shoulders wide, and begin to straighten your left leg as best as you can. Good. Pull more weight into your right foot. Nice. And this is where a block is super handy. You can place your hand on the block or even just right onto your shin bone to lift and to twist. And a good place for this twist to happen is from the hips first. So rotate your left hip back, then rotate your belly. Begin to stack your shoulders and your left arm. Nice. Bring both hands down. Movement or no movement, your choice. One breath in. Relax your head as you breathe out. Good. Inhale through your nose. Stick your tongue and go. One more time. Good. Inhale on your tiptoes. Get low, hop or step to the top. Breathe in halfway. Breathe out and bow. Rise up, breath in. Hands to your heart. Stay for an inhale. And the steadiness of your exhale. And continue to breathe here, gazes soft or closed. And think of the women, the generation of women before you. Maybe your mother or aunt. And the generation before them. And the women before them. And before them. You're the culmination of all of their efforts, of everything they wanted to do but couldn't. And everything that you want to do and strive for and are. Reach up, breathe in. Interlace your fingertips or even grab your left wrist with your right hand. You're going to tip up and over to the right. Big, long stretch. Good. Back to center. And same thing, other side. Back to center. Hands right onto your hips. Shift the weight into your right foot this time. I'm going to bend your knee and lift it up to 90 degrees-ish. I always like to have mine higher. Take a moment, steady your eyes. Engage your right bum cheek, push down through your heel. And hand to the inner thigh, you're going to open up first. And truly push your hand into your thigh until you feel your armpits suck down. And the option to grab your foot here. And maybe you straighten or get your leg almost to straight. And keep engaging your right bum cheek. And reach in all points, all directions. Good. Come back to center, catch your hips. Big breath in. Kick your foot forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, push. Back to center. Swing so that the hips are actually doing the majority of the work. And keep both knees bent. Straighten your left leg. Straighten your right. Adjust so your hips are level and chin towards your throat. Your gaze is soft towards the earth. Good. Step your left foot back. Warrior one stance. Good. Keep that good bend through your right knee. I always like to bring the knee almost over the heel, somewhere close around there. And then you're literally rounding forward. The hips are tilting towards the floor. And you can use a block even here, give you a little bit more height. So you got this really long, straight back body. And then from there, you're starting to work your right foot or your right leg straighter. Good. You're going to take your left hand to your shin bone or to your block and roll the hips first. So right outer hip back. So roll the hips, then your rib cage and belly, and then your right arm. Good. Both hands down. And cat-cow if you wish, a full flow, whatever works for you. Big breath in. Push down through your fingertips. Strong legs as you inhale. Strong feet as you exhale. One more time. Inhale on your toes. Look forward, hop or step to the top. Big breath in. And exhale, bow. Skyward, breathe in. Hands to your heart, breathe out. It's easy to love the nice things about ourselves, but true self-love is embracing the difficult parts that live in all of us. Natarajasana, dancer's pose, one of the fiercest warrior postures in yoga. This one is for you, Corinna. I always tuck my shirt in. So pour the weight into your left foot, bend your right knee, heel towards your bum. There's multiple ways you can grab your foot. You can grab for the outside, so thumb points forward. You might find that better for your shoulder stability. You might actually prefer rolling your thumb towards the back of your mat, elbow points inwards, and grabbing for the inside of your foot. And then the third one, which is my preference, works really great for my shoulders. I actually like to grab my foot. So from here, keep your knee bent, tip forward, start to kick your foot back, and like a bow, your whole upper body arcs. And you can lift your arm up. You can tip forward. Ooh. The fully tip forward variation is a hamstring stretch. The arm lifted variation is a back bend. Neither are right or wrong. They're just different. And choose one that makes you feel like the strongest, most fiercest woman. And slowly come on out. Take a moment, hand to heart, hand on your belly. And when you're ready, you can move into the opposite side. And start with your right knee bent. Kind of acts like a spring and allows your hips to do more of the movement instead of your back. And start by kicking your foot away from you. Straighten your right leg and then lift your right arm up. Slowly come up, feet down, hands to your heart. You are alive. Both hands onto your hips. Pour the weight into your right foot. Bend your knee, your right knee, draw it out to the side. Heel on your ankle if you just need a grounded moment. Heel to your calf or anywhere along your standing leg. Firm your left upper thigh and push down with your big toe mound. Stand tall. Engage both glutes so the hips roll open and create this external rotation through the thigh. And take your hands however you'd like. Vrikshasana, tree pose. Hands onto your hips. Draw your knee forward. Place your foot down. Same other side. Last breath. Good. Hands to your hips. Draw your left knee forward and feet down. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, bow to the earth and all that it offers you. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands. Jump low. Rise high. Downward dog. Good. Inhale, float forward, plank pose. Lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Belly down. Forearms underneath of your forehead. And if your back's a little tender from all those back bends, bend your knees and just sway very slowly. Imagine sending your breath to the areas where the tension is. Good. Release your efforts. And thighs long. Press down through the tops of your feet, hip distance apart. And glue your feet down until your kneecaps float up off the floor. And firm up your thighs till you feel them kind of suck away from the kneecaps. Good. Take your hands slightly off your mat. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Good. Hands forward a few more inches. Inhale, lift. Good. Do that one more time, maybe lifting a little higher. Keep your legs strong. Your core is strong. Press your hands down as you lift through your armpits. Nice. Bring yourself all the way to the earth. Gaze to the right. Cheekbone down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Chin back to center. Reach your arms back behind you. Palms down. Thumbs point outwards. Suction your hands down till your armpits suck in. Lift your head and chest. Lift your legs. Push your hands down further. Push, push, push. Lift. Feel all those muscles firing in your back body. And then lower. Cheekbone, look to the left. Option to do a second set of the one we just did. Otherwise, Interlacing your hands over top of your low back, your hips, and reach your arms back. Chest lifts, legs lift. And forehead down, arms beside you. Option to do any of the previous variations, otherwise bow pose, Dhanurasana. Reach back, grab for your ankles, bring your knees back in line, roll your shoulders back. Good, now pull your legs away from you, or push your shin bones to the back of your mat, and then roll your chest up. Forehead down onto your forearms. Just gentle breathing into your low back. And just for a moment, think of your entire life. And how everything that has ever happened has brought you to this very moment. I celebrate you. Every failure, every stumble, every success, every moment of joy and discomfort, I celebrate you. Slide your hands back underneath of your elbows, firm up your thighs, curl your toes under. So strong, really strong legs, suck your armpits in, core strong, push up and then lower, up a little higher, and then lower, all the way up, all the way to plank. Downward facing dog. Really good. Bring your knees down, curl your toes under. We're going to do a variation of hero's pose. So curl your or uncurl your toes, sorry. All right, so hands behind you underneath your shoulders. Instead of bring yourself all the way down, lots of tension on the hips, the knees, I should say. We're actually going to push the shin bones down, lift your body away from your heels, and push down through your shins, roll your shoulders back. So it's kind of like a modified version of camel pose. And just find that space where the height gives you the best stretch in the front of your thighs, up to your hip creases. Good. And now lift yourself up, right up onto your knees, curl your toes under, hands to your low back, camel pose. Chest lifts high, option to grab your heels. Big deep breaths. Breathe in today, right now. Tomorrow, your future. Your children's future. And your children's future. Slowly come up. Good. Uncurl your toes, sit onto your heels, and take 2 deep ujjayi breaths into your low belly. So toning your abdomen. And if you feel a little tender in your low back after those couple of breaths, you can take a gentle twist to the left and to the right. Good. Downward facing dog. Either gonna jump to a seated position or just lower your knee behind your ankles, cross your legs, feet out in front of you, grab a block. If you don't have one, it's not necessary. Grab some water too if you want. So boat pose. Really like teaching boat pose with a block between the thighs so you have something to squish into. When your inner thighs are working, your outer thighs are working, your hip flexors aren't overworking. So chest lifts, lean back, arms out beside you, and walk your heels a little bit closer and really strong with your core. Lean back, breathe in. All the way down. Feet underneath of your knees. Good. Push your heels down. Lift your hips up into a half bridge. Good. Push your heels down and towards the top of your mat so you feel your glutes fire. Yeah, really nice. Now I want you to lower your bum an inch and then lift it an inch. So these little tiny pulses, we're doing this intentionally to wake up your glutes, your hamstrings, and just allow a lot more foundation, a lot more stability in the back body for this deep wheel pose that we're working towards. Once you get a highest point in your bridge pose, you can walk your shoulder blades a little bit closer together. I like to keep my elbows bent, but you may enjoy interlacing them underneath of your body. Whichever gives you the greatest space to breathe. Lower yourself down, knees in towards one another. And you can place your hand on your heart and onto your belly if you'd like. Live loud and proud like you deserve, and reject their bullshit definition of what a woman should look like. So first wheel pose, we'll be doing 2. Feel free to do restorative, feel free to do bridge pose. Restorative bridge pose, so it's a block under your low back and just more restful. Or wheel pose, which I'll be walking you through. So heels nice and close to your bum cheeks. Good. Reach your arms towards the sky, flex your fingertips towards your face, bend your elbows, place your palms on the floor beside your ears so your fingertips point towards your shoulders. And take your hands wide. Don't resist this urge to bring them close together. Much better have a wide base. Good. From here, push your feet, your hands down. You come to the crown of your head and just reposition your hands. Just not a lot of pressure in the head. And then straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Big breaths here. And to come out, bend your elbows and slowly bring yourself to your shoulders, your low back, hips, knees together. And soften this human experience. Women have been starved of space for so long. When one of us finally makes it into the arena, we get scared that another woman will take our spot. But space doesn't work like that. Look at all the men in the arena getting stronger as their numbers multiply. More women in the arena means more room for all of us to rise. Last back bend of your choosing. Wheel pose, bridge pose, supported bridge pose, whatever it is that you want. I'll be guiding forearm wheel pose, so hands underneath of your elbows. Same position for wheel pose. You're going to lift yourself up to the crown of your head first, and then bring your forearm down, bring your left forearm down, and push your fingertip pads together. Take the weight out of your head by pushing your arms down. And maybe you straighten your legs by walking your feet further away from you and closer together. Tuck your chin first. Roll all the way down. My hair didn't tuck out there properly. And stillness. This class is dedicated to you, to Corinna, to Jen, Bianca, my mother, Liz, my sister Jackie, my Auntie Margaret, my friends from the studio, Tara, Joy, Pam, Ayako, Jonah, Natasha, Nikki, Candace, Tracy, Cheryl, Kendall, Erin, Camila, Heather, the other Heather, or both Heathers. Lisa Robinson, Alicia, Sky, every woman who has ever crossed my path. Thank you. If you've somehow made it too far down your mat, just worm yourself back to the back. Good. From here, tap your toes down. Press your low back towards the floor. Find a really toned breath. Good. Knees to the right as you breathe. Really toned breath. And then knees to the left. Option one, just roll over onto your side, make your way to downward facing dog. Option two, you're going to grab your hamstrings and rock forward and back, forward and back. Cross your ankles, plant your hands, Vinyasa, downward dog. Lift your right leg up, knee to wrist for pigeon pose. And take a shape that is exactly the woman that you are, that celebrates your body, its incredible form, its imperfections, its cellulite, its rolls, its stretch marks, its ability to expand and contract and grow life. This nurturing, beautiful body of yours. He says you're opinionated, as if it's an insult. To have ideas so big, he chokes on the size of them. Never be quiet. Slowly lift up. Rock the weight to your right thigh. Swing your left leg out to the side. Good. From here, left leg is straight, right knee is bent. You're going to take your hand to your inner thigh. I like to start with my knee bent. It just allows the hip to move more. So forearm down or hand down, roll your body open and lift and reach. Good. Right hand behind you. Pour the weight into your heel and your knee. Lift your hips up and back. Reach back. Good. Hips down. Take your left leg behind you. Vinyasa if you'd wish. Or downward dog. Lift your left leg up. And bring your knee behind your wrist. And slowly take your shape. I'm reading from Home Body by Rupi Kaur. It's a book of poetry. Look for the women in the room who have less space than you. Listen, hear them, and act on what they're saying. Amplify Indigenous, trans, Black, brown, women of color and their voices. Last breath. Lift all the way up. Remove your props. Rock your weight left. Bring your right leg out to the side. Same, other side. So palm down. Press your arm into your thigh if you've got those 2 points of contact. Don't roll the thigh open. Push them in together so that you can twist from that anchor spot. Lift your left arm, reach it up and over you. And if you can get your right leg straight, bala. If not, don't worry about it. Left hand behind you, press your knee, your foot down. Lift and reach. Hips down. Good. You can move through Vinyasa if you'd like. Otherwise, we're just going to be rolling right onto our backs from here. Good. From here onto your backs. If you want to have your props nearby, grab them. Some water is always good as well. I did lots of back bends, so I'm going to do a couple of twists, some really long, slow, passive twists. So effortless twists, and then right into shavasana. So feet under your knees, lift your hips, draw your hips to the right, lower them down, drop your knees to the left, and just reposition your body so that you are doing little to no work here. If you want to grab your blanket, now is a great time, especially if you had a little bit of sweat going on in that class. I know I did. And take your gaze to your right hand or in the direction of your right hand and just soften. I think many of us women spend most of our lives listening to what other people tell us we should think and we should do and we should be, and we spend so many years battling who we actually are at our core, from this fundamental belief that there's something not lovable about us. And I think one of the things I love the most about aging is getting to sift through all of that bullshit and slowly honoring and recognizing how fucking epic I am as a person, how fucking epic you are as a person. When you get to be you, how freeing it is. Like it becomes the greatest yoking, the greatest yoga. It's unraveling everything the world has told you you should be, and you have told yourself to be, only to become who you're meant to be. You in your most frictionless state. Slowly start to switch to the other side. Why escape yourself when you are so beautiful? Get closer to your shine. Slowly bring yourself back to center. And if your back is tender from all of those back bends, knees together, heels wide, take any shape you wish, even if it's in a fetal position, curled up into a little ball. On days I could not move, it was women who came to water my feet until I was strong enough to stand. It was women who nourished me back to life. Make it a point to love yourself so fiercely and as fiercely as you do other people. Namaste. Happy International Women's Day.